Let's go live to Caracas, Venezuela once more, where the National Assembly is holding an ordinary session. Let's see.
Ortega Martín ha sido recibido por el canciller de la República Bolivariana de Venezuela, Iván Gil Pinto. En esta oportunidad serán entregadas al presidente constitucional Nicolás Maduro Moros las cartas credenciales del embajador apostólico expedidas desde el Estado de la Ciudad del Vaticano a la República Bolivariana de Venezuela.
Acto protocolar que vemos en el Palacio de Gobierno y también en imágenes al presidente constitucional de la República Bolivariana de Venezuela.
Constitutional President of Venezuela, Nicolás Maduro, together with the first combatant, Celia Flores, an act of delivery of credential letters in the Sol del Perú Hall of the Presidential Palace. President is held Excellency Mons. Alberto Ortega Martín, Nuncio Apostolic, designed by the Holy Seat before the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. At this moment, the constitutional president is to receive in the Palace of Miraflores with a friendly welcome to the Nuncio Apostolico, Your Excellency, Monsignor Alberto Ortega Martín. They're sharing this historic image to share with all the Venezuelan people and the world. This handshake also is also greeting and shaking hands with Celia Flores de Maduro, and also those who are together and here in this day. The friendship between President Maduro and the relations between the Catholic Church and the Venezuelan state are strengthened with the principle of peaceful principles in the Bolivarian state, with the diplomatic relations with the Vatican State. We see what has been this moving meeting between both authorities. Also, we say that Ignacio Cefalia is also present on the Venezuelan delegation, is also the first combatant, Celia Flores, also the foreign minister, Iván Gil, and also the minister for Europe. Also, we remember that the diplomatic relations between Vatican States and the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela has flourished with a very relation that Maduro has promoted with Pope Francis in May 2024. The head of state expressed, I appreciate his Holy Father, Pope Francis, to receive the President of Venezuela at the Vatican. We receive with joy, with love, our relations with the people, the Catholic people of our country. I hope that you can visit this beautiful land so that with this message to appreciate your message of Pope Francis to the Venezuelan delegations. Also, we say in what has been the diplomatic work of the ambassador, we can say and highlight Monsignor has been designated by Pope Francis in Venezuela. He was born in 1962. He speaks Spanish, Italian, English, and French. He became priest in 1990. He began in the diplomatic service in 1997. Pope Francis made the announcement of the designation of Monsignor de Ortega Martín last May, And also, we can also highlight that Monsignor Alberto Martin has also provided service in Nicaragua between 1997 and 1999, as well as in South Africa between 1999 and 2002. Also, he has been working in Lebanon to 2020. Also, he was part of a mission of the state from 2014 to 2015, and has also been responsible of the embassies of the Vatican State in Iraq. Also, he was also designated Apostolic Nuncio in Chile, and also he has studied in the economic faculty in the Autonomous University of Madrid, and also he studied philosophy and theology. He was also ordained on 1990. We will see now images that we are showing in this meeting between the President Nicolás Maduro and the authority of the Vatican State that will become and will carry out all the diplomatic functions here in the Venezuelan state to strengthen the bilateral relations based on the Christian and Catholic faith to deal with the social problems of humanity. Now with a vision, a very spiritual vision that adjusts to the new times, where they will profess peace as a base of all the relations of humanity. Also, we have to recall the context that Chavez established relations since 1999, a very model relations with the Vatican State, with this John Paul II promoting the political dialogue, the relations based on the mutual respect on and diverse areas to strengthen the ideals, the Christian ideals. The diplomatic relation between both states have been established since 1869. They have also Venezuela has an embassy in Rome, represented by Your Excellency. Also, we have to say that in June 2017, or the 17th of June 2013, President Nicolás Maduro met with Pope Francis. And that opportunity, they talked about the recognition on the part of the United Nations Organization for Agriculture and Food to Venezuela for what they have accomplished, the half of the millennium against starvation and malnutrition. The social problems are also part of the agenda between the Vatican and the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela in this interest to strengthen this dialogue, this political dialogue of understanding, and also the meeting and to all the problems, social problems that are in the scene, in the scenario of the geopolitical in the world. Since then, Venezuela has had a friend in Pope Francis, who has promoted, first of all, the beatification and canonization of Jose Gregorio Hernandez, what has been applauded by the faithful of Catholic faithful, that has shown the miracles of the people, of the poor people. He is a saint of the people, of this mission that President Maduro has promoted before the Vatican, where we have had the major support by Pope Francis. The miracle of a girl at 13 years was impacted by a bullet in the brain. She could not be operated on until 48 hours after the accident, what generated the loss of brain mass. At that moment, the doctors say that she was not going to survive, but in an inexplicable way, this healing was made. That's why it was a miracle, considered a miracle by their parents, and it was presented the 27th of April 2020 to initiate this process that was presented before the Theological Commission at the Vatican to approve as for humanity, for the unanimously the miracle achieved by Gregorio Hernandez to this child, an icon, what has been the Christian faith of the Venezuelan people that has been recognized by the Vatican. We have to see in the image now this meeting, this friendly meeting with President Maduro, with the authority of the Vatican State, which will be represented here in the Republic of Venezuela. We have to highlight also that this is being developed within a national dialogue that has been called by Nicolás Maduro with all the sectors in this bet on peace and understanding, on consensus to move on the development, the integral development of our nation, as well as to make all those changes, all those transformations that the nation required in facing the great challenges that are being going on with the birth of the new world, where also the Catholic Church and the Christian faith shared between Venezuela and Vatican State has a fundamental role to play in this context. The arrival of Monsignor Ortega Martin also marks a new epoch between the relations of Venezuela and the Vatican State in this mission of peaceful peace by the Bolivarian Revolution and respect of the people and mutual respect in what has been also the respect that Venezuela has carried out as a banner and as this dignity of free country and sovereign country to continue the diplomatic relations with the diverse countries of the world. And in this case, with the Vatican State, this has been, as dialogue has been, but the President has called a dialogue, a multidimensional dialogue that is integrated in 5 issues like the economic sector of the social sector, the political sector, the identity, the collective identity, the cultural identity, our character of culture, of our relations with all the peoples of the world, with the peoples of the world, to what Venezuela contributes in this new challenge that is calling to the new humanity, to the new birth of the new world, and that Venezuela also is writing its name, the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela is writing its name to build these new spaces of dialogue, of attention, of reconciliation and understanding, but also with support to what is the promotion of the Christian faith, the faith that is marking the tendency in all the world. The Christian faith, the Catholic faith, is in all scenarios of the world, just in the context of the birth of this new humanity, as President Maduro has called. We appreciate at this moment, in these images, this meeting, this friendly meeting between Maduro and the authority that has been assigned by Pope Francis, Monsignor Ortega Martin, who has been designated by the Vatican See to the Bolivarian country to contribute our regulations and to strengthen our relations. And based on the Christian faith, part of what is happening in this hall of Peru, in the Miraflores Palace, in this agenda that is being shared by President Nicolás Maduro with all the people of Venezuela, is now a new agenda needs to be imposed between the Vatican State and the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela within the context of the Bolivarian diplomacy based on respect and what has been the determination of the people, but also with this friendship that has been consecrated between Venezuela and the Vatican State with Pope Francis, who has been a great friend of Venezuela, of the faithful, the Christian faithful of the faith of the people, has also called and also been attentive to the social problems and the resolution of conflicts that are affecting the humanity, and for that new society of the new world that is being born. And it's also been claimed by humanity. The Pope Francis has been one of the big defenders of the social problems, but also of the great injustices that has had the peoples of the world. So it's part of what we can offer you so far in this hall in the Miraflores Palace, which has been the delivery of the credential letters by Monsignor Ortega Martin.
We are live to Caracas, Venezuela, where representative of the Vatican Apostolic Nuncio, Monsignor Alberto Ortega Martin, hand over the credential letters to Constitutional President Nicolás Maduro. Venezuela and the world witness a historic image, the handshake of both authorities as a symbol of peace and also as a symbol of the Holy See's recognition of the constitutional government of President Nicolás Maduro, and also as a proof of the historic relationship of deep respect between the Vatican State and Venezuela. We are seeing images of the encounter between the representative of the Vatican Apostolic Nuncio, Monsignor Alberto Ortega Martin, when he handed over the credential letters to Constitutional President Nicolás Maduro. As we were mentioning, Venezuela is witnessing a historic moment, a moment where the handshake between the both authorities represent a symbol of respect and a symbol of peace. Also, let's recall that Pope Francis is a great defender of social problems of the world, but also is a big defender of the justice and the just causes of the world. So this is a key moment for Venezuela in a moment of uncertainty where the far-right wing is trying to tarnish the elections and the results of the elections by calling to violence and by calling to an uprising, a social uprising in the country. So this is a moment of peace, this is a moment of validation of the constitutional government of President Nicolás Maduro. It's a moment of respect that also strengthens the relation between the Vatican State and also the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. We can see both high representatives and the president shaking hands before the press, and images that are going throughout the world at this moment, representing a moment of peace, a moment of validation, a moment of recognition of the constitutional president and the constitutional government of Venezuela, a president who was re-elected in the July 28th elections. This is all for the moment. Stay tuned with From the South.